Alrighty, welcome back everyone, it's Garland. I'm bringing you another Tera video. And today's video is going to be the guide and tutorial on enchanting. A lot of people have asked me many questions on enchanting, so we're going to put this video out there and hopefully it helps you guys. So here we are on my level 65 Mystic. First of all, when your guys are just leveling up from 1 to 64, you don't need to level up all your gear. You're just wasting time. Even if you're a casual player, you're going to outgrow your gear so fast in this game that you shouldn't be wasting any materials anyway. The only thing that you need to level up or enchant up is going to be your weapon. And if you're finding the content difficult, you can level up your gloves as well. But you're constantly going to be upgrading your gear every couple levels anyway. So it's completely up to you how you do it. Now, once you get to level 65 is when you're going to start taking the game seriously, obviously. You're going to want to obtain your first gear set, which is going to be the Tier 9 Slaughter set. Once you've accumulated all of the Slaughter set, that's when you can go ahead and go, start enchanting it up. So let's jump right in. So I do have a full Tier 9 Slaughter set on my Mystic currently. Now, you're going to need a handful of materials, such as Alkahest and Feedstock. Now, these are both tiered the same ways the gear is tiered in the game. You can clearly see this says Tier 9 Feedstock, Tier 9 Alkahest. Now, that obviously is going to go with your Tier 9 gear. So when you upgrade to the Tier 10, the Gal set, you're going to have Tier 9 Feedstock as well as Tier 10 Alkahest. However, the Tier 9 Feedstock, you can transfer this into the next tier. It says Enchanting Material Fusion. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. I currently have over 2,400 Tier 9. That would give me about 1,400 Tier 10. So you can see the ratio. The Alkahest, however, cannot be done the same way. You're going to have to either buy your Alkahest or you get your Alkahest from, weeklies, or you can buy it off the broker. Sometimes it'll be cheaper off the broker. Where you get your Alkahest is going to be on a general merchant. Now, also, please note that when you are upgrading from level 1 to 9, you can also take the same exact piece of gear and also use that as a catalyst to level up your gear. So you're going to waste less feedstock the more of the same item you have. So for instance here, I have 2 Slaughter weapon chests and 1 Slaughter armor chest. This is guaranteed to give me the item for my class. These are called smart boxes. They're guaranteed to give me the item for my specific class. So if we go ahead and open these, it should give us 2 of the same weapons, obviously. And you can simply farm these by just doing the item level 355 dungeon, guys. Technically, you don't have to use any feedstock up to level 9, depending on how much you actually farm. Alright, so we did get 2 weapons and then 1 armor piece. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys how to do this. Simply go to the menu, drop it down to enchant. When you're on the enchant menu, scroll over to where it says gear, and you'll be able to drop that same piece of gear into the one you want to level up. Go ahead and hit enchant. And there we go. Now we've gone to a +1 weapon. Do that same process again for however many of these you have, but do keep in note that you can only go up to +9 by this method. There's another success. Now our weapon is +2. Let's go ahead and back out and do it for the armor very quickly. Go ahead and drop down to the menu, enchant, scroll over to the gear, toss it on in there, enchant that bad boy. And there we go, +1. Now, for today's purpose of the video, we're just going to also remember to equip your stuff. Sometimes when you enchant stuff, it will de-equip itself all by itself. Alright, for the purposes of the video, guys, we're going to do the weapon. So go ahead, click your weapon, drop it down to enchant, put your tier 9 feedstock in. Now, it will give you an amount of feedstock that it wants you to use. 4 feedstock, 8 feedstock, 24, and 48. It says the more feedstock you invest, the better the chances of success. Just always go with whatever it says recommended is. Go ahead and put your alkahest in, and then you can auto-enchant or enchant manually. It's up to you. Since we have so many resources, we're just going to go ahead and auto-enchant this and see what happens when we get this bad boy to level 9. So let's see if we get lucky. So maybe some RNG on our side. There's +3. There's +4. There's +5. And +6. Oh, +7. Can we get lucky? No fells. +8. No fells. No whammies. Ah, there's a fell. This can fell, guys. Up 2 fells back to back. 3 fells back to back. And there we go. So now we have a +9 weapon. 7 successes, 3 failures. And you can see how fast you use your resources. We had 2,400. We had 2,400 feedstock, and we used 400 in a blink of an eye. Now, the tutorial is going to come up in-game. It said Masterwork equipment can be enchanted up to +12. So that's the next step of our process, is that I'm going to talk about how to masterwork your weapons, or your gear in general. Now, if you don't want to look at the tutorial, you can simply just close out your menu. You're going to need a handful of materials to masterwork as well. Let's go ahead down here and find our scrolls. Where are they at? Over here? There we go. You're going to need 2 basic materials. You're going to need the Master Scrolls of the same tier. This game is all about tiers, guys. All about tiers. So you can clearly see we have Master Scrolls, and they are tier 9, which are used, obviously, for tier 9. And then you're also going to need some intricate ID scrolls. These are the 2 basic components you're going to need. Now, also, there's going to be spellbinds. Spellbinds are something that we're going to talk about shortly. However, you can use spellbinds to lock specific roll lines or stat lines on a said piece of gear. We'll get into that when we get there. So let's see if we can masterwork our weapon very quickly. You simply go down here and the tutorial comes back up and wants you to go into enchantment effect. Go ahead and click this, and bada bing bada boom, click this. And you simply just keep using your scrolls until said item is masterworked. So there's a fell number 1. Please keep, paying attention here. Every time that you re-roll this, the statistics on the gear is going to change themselves. That's where the spellbinds come in. See where it says decrease cooldowns, crit factor, blah, 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 blah. If you want to lock one of these stats, for instance, let's keep the cooldowns. It's going to cost you 8 spellbinds. So you're going to keep this first stat roll, but you're going to re-roll all 3 of these. Now, I don't recommend doing this until your gear is actually masterworked, because the statistics are going to increase once you get it masterworked. Now, if you get something that you know you're going to keep, yes, by all means, you can go ahead and lock that skill in, and the skill will just upgrade when it does masterwork. But for me, for instance, for the purposes of the video, I don't really care. I don't want to waste the materials. So, let's keep going. Let's see how many times it takes us to pop this baby. That's already 2 fells in a row. 3 fells in a row. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Apparently we're making a counting video today. 9. 10. Oh, baby, 11. 12. So you can see the frustration this is. That's 13 attempts already. There we go. Finally, on attempt number 14, we were able to masterwork the weapon. Now, I've had people tell me they've done this 100 times. I've personally, my tier 10, I did 241 times. So, may RNG be on your side, because these materials are not cheap and they're not easy to get. The Master Scrolls you could get by doing your weekly, so you only get 10 of those a week. The intricate identification scrolls can be bought from a general merchant, and they also drop fairly easy out of dungeons. The bottleneck is definitely the Master Scrolls, as you can only get 10 per character per weekly. Now that we have upgraded this to a +9, let's move on to the next step here. Now, as I said, you can go ahead and keep using Master Scrolls to re-roll your statistics on what you want. Gold statistics obviously are better than green statistics, so basically, if I were here, we'll do one just to show you. I'm going to lock the crit factor and the attack speed. It's going to cost 16 spellbinds total. Go ahead and re-roll it again. We didn't get a gold one. We'll go ahead and re-roll it again. There we go. There's attack speed now. You would lock this one. Now it's going to cost you 32 spellbinds, as well as a Master Scroll and an ID Scroll. The only thing that I would be missing on this weapon now is increase healing or decrease skill cooldowns. Actually, I don't want this crit factor. I personally need, if you look on the right hand side of the screen, it gives you the options of what you're looking for. I need, for the Mystic, the skill cooldowns as well as the increased healing. So we'll do one more just for funsies. And we didn't get either of them. Why not? Let's just waste a couple more materials here, huh? Waste some more materials, Gar. Okay, there we go. So there's at least decreased skill cooldowns. So you guys get the picture of how big of a process this is and how much farming it is. Let's go ahead and back out. So we now have a +9 masterworked weapon. What is the next step? Well, now that you have masterworked your weapon, you're eligible to go ahead and level this up to rank 12 now. Now you're going to need different materials for this. You're no longer going to use the tier 9 Alkahest that you previously were using. Tier 9 Alkahest out the window. There's new Alkahest. We have personal extensive Alkahest, extensive Alkahest, personal rare Alkahest, and masterwork Alkahest. Now, right off the bat, I see everyone, including numerous videos on YouTube, that are saying, use the Masterwork Alkahest. No, this is incorrect. Do not use your Masterwork Alkahest. Yes, it's easy to obtain right now. You can farm Masterwork Alkahest from Gillyglade, and it drops like water. The prices are bottoming out for the most part. I think they're going for 70 gold, which is still high, I guess, for some people. Do not waste Masterwork Alkahest. You need your Masterwork Alkahest to go for Awakening. You're going to use that to level from 12 to 13, 13 to 14, and 14 to 15. You don't want to be wasting your Masterwork Alkahest on 9 to 10, 10 to 11, and 11 to 12. That's what this other Alkahest is for. Now, keep in mind, the other Alkahest is a lot harder to get, so, I mean, if you can't get the correct Alkahest and you are forced to use your Masterwork, then by all means do it. I just have to put that disclaimer out there that you should not be using your Masterwork Alkahest for any tier gear, but enchant level 10, 11, 12. It is mainly used for 13, 14, 15. Now, these Alkahests can be gained from doing your main quest line at level 65. Otherwise, you have to get them out of loot boxes or strong boxes. That's why these are a little harder to get. However, for some reason, they do sell lower than the other one. I just don't think the general population knows which one that they're supposed to be using. Now, I personally don't use the extensive Alkahest because this is also used later for the awakening process. I mainly use the personal Alkahest. The personal extensive Alkahest and the personal rare Alkahest. It doesn't really matter which one you use. They both have the same properties. The personal extensive alkahest says that it has a higher chance of success, but either should be fine. I believe the difference is that the personal rare, actually, if you fail, it gives you a higher percent chance on the next attempt. But I think the personal extensive might do that, the same thing. I don't know. Tooltips in the game, I don't really trust them. So this is what you're going to want to do. Go ahead over to your weapon. Let's see. We're only going to actually take this to like 10 or 11 or something right now, but I don't want to go all the way to 12. I don't know if I'm going to be able to unless we get extremely lucky. Now you're going to use the same feedstock. It's going to take the top tier at 48 feedstock every attempt. And let's go ahead and put the, I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll put the personal rare. If you want to go back and forth with these and try, you know, if you fell a bunch on the personal rare, then try to the personal extensive. Whatever method works for you, go ahead and try. Now, I will usually do these by single. I won't auto-enchant, so let's go ahead and go. Let's do it, baby. Come on. So there's a fail number 1 right off the bat. Let's see if we can get this to... Let's see if we can get to plus 12. It doesn't look like it's going to be cooperating. We already have 2 fails in a row. So there is plus 10. Let's see if we can get this to plus 11. And there's plus 11 right off the bat. Come on, baby, give me plus 12. See, now we failed. I'm going to actually switch over to the personal extensive and see what happens here. So there's another fail. Purposes of the video, we'll take it all the way to 12. If we use all our materials, we'll use all our materials. That's like 4 fails in a row right there. And there we go. So, that is the process. That is your tutorial. That is your guide on not only how to level up your gear to level 9, but then masterwork it, level it to 12, and then if you so choose, to reroll your stat lines. And you have to do that to your armor, your gloves, and your boots. If you're a DPS class, you should always do your weapon and gloves first, because that's where you're going to gain most of your offensive statistics from. If you're a priest or a tank, you could level your armor and boots first. It's really up to you. If you're a DPS, I would definitely do your weapon and your gloves first. That's going to end this tutorial today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've had any questions throughout this process, like I said, it's a very tedious process, and there's multiple tiers of gear, you know. Once you get all your tier 9 stuff up in level and you get to item level 410, then you're going to be able to do the 410 dungeons and start working on your tier 10 gear, which then you have to rinse and repeat the same entire process over on a new set of gear. I know this video is going a little long. I had to get this information out there, especially correct information. You got to be careful on the internet, kids. Lots of bad stuff out there. I'm Garland. Hopefully you enjoyed this Tera video. I'll see you guys in the next one.